Welcome back to CBS Sports HQ. Muirfield Village Gold Club, the backdrop for this weekend's Memorial Tournament with a 750 FedEx points and a hefty $20 million purse on the line. Scotty Scheffler enters the competition, still topping the world standings, still the betting favorite coming into an event that he's already won. Trying to repeat this weekend. It would be his third victory on the tour this year, with round one of the Memorial Tournament teeing off Thursday from Dublin, Ohio. We've got you covered from all angles for the Memorial Tournament. We're going to get started with our good friend and golf analyst Greg Ducharme with a look ahead at the action. Greg, set the table for us. Memorial Tournament is the 7th of 8 signature events on tour this year. This field is stacked in terms of the FedEx Cup standing. So tell all those golfers out there what to expect when they take the course on Thursday.
Yeah, when you look at Muirfield Village, first of all, it's one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite non-major venue that we play on the PGA Tour. And it really sets up like a major championship test. Each of the last 5 years, it's been among the 10 most challenging golf courses on the PGA Tour. And a lot of that comes from its length. It's over 7,500 yards, which is the 4th longest golf course on the PGA Tour. But at the same time, the greens, there are only 2 golf courses with smaller greens on the PGA Tour. RBC Heritage, where they play at Harbor Town, and Pebble Beach. Now, both of those golf courses are significantly shorter. So what Jack Nicklaus, the architect of this golf course, does is he puts long clubs in your hands and gives you very small targets to hit at. And that makes this one of the toughest challenges on the PGA Tour.
Listen, we know if it's the legendary Jack Nicklaus designing a course, it's got to be some kind of challenging, right? Thankfully, though, Greg, we've got you to do a little demonstration. We normally get Breed's breakdowns. We're in the back sort of trying to workshop a name here. We've got Ducharme's demonstration maybe up next.
Not bad.
Either way.
A little bit of a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. But show us what Jack Nicklaus would do if he was taking the course this weekend.
Yeah, so the key here is that we want to get this ball elevated quickly so we can stop it on these greens. There's a lot of really small sections that you'll see. So I'm going to hit one shot here first to give you a little baseline of a couple of numbers, and then I'm going to show you how Jack would elevate this ball quickly. So this is just a nice, normal, smooth swing. This one was solidly struck, came out a little bit left. Now let's take a look up here at some of these numbers. And as you're going to see, this golf ball, it only went 66 feet in the air. So that's the #1 area of concern. It carried 176 yards and rolled out about 7 yards out to 183. The launch angle was only 13 degrees. So we're going to raise that up to get a little bit of a higher apex here on this shot. And this is what Jack Nicklaus did. He called it low and slow. So when you take the club back, you want this club head staying low to the ground to the point where when my hands get outside of my thigh, the club head is below my hands in this position here. Now, if the club was high, it would be up in this position here. That'd be wrist hinge. That's going to create a really narrow backswing. We don't want that. We want a wide backswing. If the club head stays low in the backswing, the ball is going to go high. That's going to look something a little bit like this. So remember, that one apexed at 66 feet in the air. Let's see if we can get this one above 90. Well, I almost missed that one completely, so you're going to have to forgive me because I got to hit one more here. I'm not practiced. It's not Breed's breakdown. It's a Ducharme demonstration, and he gets 2 takes. Okay, so this is going to be take 2, low and slow. Okay, that was much better there. Much more solid. That's all I needed. Just a second go at it.
That's it.
And
you just needed to re-rack it.
Instead of 66 feet, this one gets up there to 90 feet in the air, 17-degree launch angle. We got that up 2 degrees, and that's going to allow you the opportunity to stop this ball on these really small greens at Muirfield Village.
Listen, Greg, I thought the demonstration was great. I learned a lot. We talked about my golfing ability before, though, so great stuff out there as usual. Keep practicing. We'll keep our eye on all the things as the Memorial Tournament gets underway this weekend. Our coverage on CBS set to get underway at 5:30 on Saturday before the round. The event, I should say, concludes Sunday, 2:30 Eastern. Make CBS your home for all things Memorial Tournament and over on Paramount+. All right, so we've got Patrick McDonald joining us. Patrick, a little disappointed that you're not giving us a demonstration, but that's okay. We'll lean on your expertise there from afar. So let's answer some questions when it comes to the stacked field that'll be taking the green, I should say, out in Ohio. Got to start the conversation with Scottie Scheffler, obviously trying to defend the tournament that he won a year ago, trying to bounce back from a tied fourth finish at Charles Schwab last weekend. What do you like about the world #1 right now?
One, I can't believe you guys have me on after Ducharme's demonstrations.
Tough act
That's
to
like
follow.
It's like going after the A+ student in a science fair or something. This is not a good place to be for me. But with Scottie Scheffler, you look at what Greg laid out with this golf course, Muirfield Village, and what it's going to ask players, right? It's going to ask players to be long and straight off the tee. It's going to be asking players to be exquisite with long irons. And Greg mentioned how small these greens are. You have to be great around the green also. So it really is a true all-around test. And you look at Scheffler's game, where he ranks the last 3 months in this field. He's #1 in total strokes gained, #1 tee to green, #1 off the tee, #1 on approach, and lo and behold, that club right there, the putter, he's a top 10 putter in this field as well. And so Scheffler, he really has that all-around test. I think an added bonus is he works the ball left to right, which Jack Nicklaus designs usually cater to. So Scheffler's gone third win, of course, mostly with the ball striking, but with that all-around game that he has right now, I expect another run at the title.
Always come to expect Scottie to be in the conversation when it comes to a title. By the way, with a win this week, Scheffler would join Tiger Woods as the only golfer to defend that title at Memorial. He can also extend his lead over Rory McIlroy when it comes to the FedEx Cup standings. Patrick already has a 135-point lead over McIlroy, but the bigger story is the fact that the Northern Irishman's not going to play this weekend. He now skips his third signature event on the season. What do you make of the decision here, Patrick? Do you think it's going to come back to bite Rory down the stretch?
It's been weird since winning the Masters, honestly. The PGA Championship was just a weird 7 days where he dodged the media with the non-conforming driver. All he had to do was come out and say, hey, it got a little too hot, had to replace it, didn't play too well, unfortunately, and I'm on to the next one. But you think about Rory McIlroy, really ever since the advent of LIV Golf, he's been flip-flopping a little bit every now and again. One, he was the guy who kind of led the charge with signature events, saying, hey, we need to come together as a PGA Tour, play as many events as possible together, the big names that is. But recently, ever since the PGA Tour and LIV Golf started negotiating, Rory's taken the stance of, hey, I only care about myself. All the extracurriculars kind of hurt my game a little bit. I'm focused on what Rory McIlroy wants to do, think about what he wants to accomplish in the future of this game. Rory really cares about the National Opens. That's why we're going to see him down in Australia this winter. That's why we're going to see him next week at the Canadian Open as well. In the signature events, there's no fines anymore. So he's not really in a place where he needs to be playing for a lot of money. Rory McIlroy has plenty of that. And he has plenty of FedEx Cup points, too, and still plenty down the road up for grabs. So I think he'll be fine in terms of the FedEx Cup points. Rory eats at East Lake 2, where the Tour Championship is, but it is disappointing not to see him this week at Jack's Place.
Yeah, he did say previously that he did plan on cutting back. Last year it was too much golf, but kind of got to start to wonder there what's going on inside the mind of Rory McIlroy. So we won't see him this weekend, but in the 50th edition of this Jack Nicklaus tournament, we can see quite a stacked field. So we're going to work from Scottie Scheffler down here, Patrick. Who's the guy that's going to challenge Scottie there at the top?
I'm going to go a little deep. I'm going to go with Keegan Bradley, the U.S. Ryder Cup captain. Admittedly, I want this guy on the U.S. Ryder Cup team. I think he's playing like a top 6 American golfer right now, and if he forgoes that opportunity to join that roster, I think it'll be a shame and ultimately just hurt his team. But Bradley is second in this field to Scottie Scheffler in terms of strokes gained tee to green. He's the only player to rank inside the top 20 in terms of driving accuracy and driving distance these last 3 months. And with Bradley, he'll go as the putter goes. It has not been good so far in 2025, but we saw there at the PGA Championship where he was just field average, what he's capable of finishing top 10 at Quail Hollow Club. The good news for Bradley is these greens at Muirfield Village are pretty easy to navigate. He's gained strokes on these in his last 4 starts. If he gains strokes this week with the putter in hand, I think he has a pretty decent chance to add some pressure to Scottie Scheffler come Sunday.
All right, we'll keep our eye on Keegan Bradley, but we'll also keep our eye on Scottie Scheffler. Patrick McDonald joining us with a look ahead at the field, and here are your odds to win that tournament. Here's why I say we work down from Scottie Scheffler, because once again, he's the favorite, plus 280 there at the top. Xander Schauffele comes in at plus 1,600. I'm looking, no Keegan Bradley on this list, but that's okay. We'll see what comes true. when this tournament gets underway later this week. All right, so we've hit the storylines. We've given you a demonstration. Now let's help you win money. Sia, I would argue you've got the best job here because you're putting money in people's pockets. So let's get started with the DFS goodbye. Sia Nejad, what do you got for us?
All right. I wish I had a demonstration to give you, but I'm just going to give you some DFS goodbyes for now, Haley. We're going to start with Matt Fitzpatrick, a guy that's not a household name right now. Certainly a household name in the lore of golf over the last 5 or 10 years, but has been really bad in 2025 and also a little bit in 2024. But what I'm seeing with Matt Fitzpatrick is that his game is rebounding. A T8 at the PGA Championship last week, very impressive. He's gained ball striking in 2 out of the last 3 tournaments, and we know he has the short game to compete here, and I do think short game is going to be very important. He's also in a price range here on FanDuel, really in DFS in general. Him, along with Sepp Straka, who I'll talk about in a second, they're in a price range that I think gets frozen out a little bit with so many people trying to collect players in a price range just above and just below them. So I think Matt Fitzpatrick is a great play. Sepp Straka, another guy who is playing really well. I think everybody knows Sepp Straka is playing really well. He's got 2 wins on the season, which is just incredible. But he's also got a good track record at the Memorial, at Muirfield Village. His around the green play does give me pause, but he's been able to overcome it every time he's been here over the last few years. So I think Sepp Straka, Matt Fitzpatrick, very solid DFS buys this week.
All right. What about your pick to win, Sia? Who do you got your eyes on?
So I'm going down the board a bit, Haley, as well. But here's the thing. I do not want to mess with Scottie Scheffler. I actually think he's going to win this tournament, and I'm sure you hear this all the time. It's always that suffix, right? It's like, but I don't want to bet him at plus 280 or at plus 300, so I'm not going to do that. But I am going to take him out of the equation. I'm betting in the without market, and I think a lot of people are just going to move to those players right below Scottie, like your Colin Morikawa, who's probably a good pick. Patrick Cantlay, probably a good pick. Some of those household names. I'm going with Siwoo Kim in the without Scottie Scheffler market at 35-1. Here's what I'm trying to do when I look at outrights. First of all, the name recognition, I just put that off to the side. I'm looking for course fit. I'm looking for course history, and I'm looking for recent form. Course fit, well, the approach play pristine. Well, it's good enough, certainly, with Siwoo Kim. He's accurate off the tee. He's really great with the short game, specifically around the green. Putter can sometimes be an issue, but he certainly fits the course, and that's illustrated quite a bit in his last 4 times at Muirfield. He's been inside the top 15 each of those 4 times. That is unbelievable stuff. And oh, by the way, his recent form, the approach play has been great. The around the green play has been great. The putter can pop, and he's been inside the top 30 in each of his last 4 events. And some of those are certainly big boy and big girl events here. So I think Siwoo Kim is one of those names that people are not as intoxicated by because they want to go to Colin Morikawa. He's going to win soon, right? Patrick Cantlay, he's going to win soon. Ludwig, he's such a big talent. But when you look at the flaws in their game right now, I want to go a tier below. I'm going to take Siwoo Kim at 35-1.
Getting spicy there, our Sia Nejad is. All right, Sia, before we let you go, give us your best bet for the weekend when it comes to the Memorial Tournament.
Haley, on a Tuesday, you may not know this, I like to drop nationality props.
Okay.
So while I do like for example, Siwoo Kim in the top 20 market around plus 115, I'm going to give you a nationality prop. We're going top Oceania. For the uninitiated, top Oceania is basically Australia and New Zealand and a bunch of small islands that are sort of in between. But it's essentially those 2 countries. And we're looking at Ryan Fox, we're looking at Cam Davis, Min Woo Lee, and my winner, Adam Scott, at plus 200. Adam Scott's one of those guys that's really been off for quite some time. But I have noticed he is showing up in the big boy events. We saw it at the PGA Championship. I do think he's one of those guys that is really not concerned with the lower tier events, but the signature events and the majors, that's where you're going to see Adam Scott show up. Ryan Fox has been very good lately. It has actually been uncharacteristically accurate lately, but I don't think this is the course for him. And I think Cam Davis and Min Woo are going to find too much trouble, specifically off the tee. And I just don't think they have the complete game that Adam Scott does. So I'll take the plus 200 on Adam Scott. Top Oceania. See,
Sia, you were worried about a demonstration. This is the only demonstration you need, buddy. You're handing out that money there. Sia Nejad helping us win big when it comes to the Memorial Tournament. Sia, we appreciate the time. Get locked in when it comes to the betting side of golf by locking into the Early Wedge podcast powered by Sportsline. The crew has you ready when it comes to all the things we just talked about. What golfers you should be watching, DFS good versus bad buys, all the things. Scan that QR code on your screen to learn more.